Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Colin Ulrich.
This is Rangaroo. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, today we're actually seeing a cast that's being done as a therapy session, but we'll get to that in just a second. We're actually running Ocean North right now, and I'm angry at you, Rang, but I still want you to tell me who is playing on this map.
Well, on the left-hand side in the blue, we have the Grand Slam playing as 11th SS with a flatline income. Right-hand side in red, we have Znat playing 3rd Guard Mechanized Corps with a Maverick income.
You know what? I can't believe you believe it's okay for us to cast one of the games of your side piece. Like, I heard what happened recently. You went on his stream, and you were casting with him.
It was just a one-time thing, okay? It was just gonna be a one-time thing, you know. He even paid for dinner. It was a great time, and I just thought you'd be okay with it. I even got the hall pass from you, remember?
Well, actually, you know what, right now? Suddenly the grinder jokes on Tuesday make a lot more sense.
It's not you, it's me, okay?
Oh, clearly it's you. Some weird kind of polygamous casting relationship that you think you have with other people.
I was just experimenting with other people, okay? It was just a one-time thing. I promise I won't do it again. Can we just get along?
Yeah,
I just want to see us like blow stuff up.
Only, you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it for the viewers. We're doing it for the viewers. That's the only reason we're doing this. We actually have an early Vierfach Werfer over here, which is actually kind of fun. We don't tend to see this as an A kind of call-in. He's slow as bejesus, but could certainly kind of. My guess is probably attack that southern town. Although with what, I'm not have any idea just yet.
Yeah, I really do love seeing the Valak Werfer being used. Not as much as Rahein Werfer, but you gotta make do with what you got. But yeah, if he uses it on that southern town, Russian some infantry, that'd be a pretty good play. But just seeing the initial deployments, that man's gonna make pretty good headway into the center. But apart from that, it's nothing really all that aggressive. Like, both sides not doing too much on either flank.
No, not really the case. I mean, actually, this is a ridiculous question. Schwedenzug, that's not Swedish troops in Nordland, is it?
I think so. I think it is.
Huh. Well, this, I think I hadn't really quite noticed. I hadn't really quite noticed. It's not really exactly like, you know, the broken wings or whatever the heck they were from the Brits. Early Cobra going in after the 231. So I guess Nordland against this core over here. I don't know, man. On the face of it, I don't really relish Nordland's chances too well.
Yeah, yeah, the Shermans are going to be a bit of a pain. I mean, Shermans are no longer as overpowered, as good as they were beforehand, and it's a pretty good CQC map where stabilizers can come pretty useful. I think it's going to come down to how well he can use his lightly armored vehicles early on, and just trying to deal with the potential horde of Shermans with 2-star veterancy.
Well, even looking at the infantry matchup, despite the fact already that the Soviets will forever have like a crazy numbers advantage, how the heck is Northern supposed to put up against so many Ogdamachiki, Superiors galore? Heck, even the Partisanis are pretty dangerous under certain circumstances.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, he only really has the Grenadiers, and mainly a lot of the MG26 runs, which aren't the best in terms of firepower, so close quarters fights, especially in forests, even the Partisanis with Molotovs will be a pain in the ass to deal with. Yeah, for a division like his, especially for all the heavy tanks, he needs to try and make something happen in the center, or in the towns where it's a bit more open.
Actually, wait a second, so, You know, I'm looking, maybe the air power can keep this back. Ooh, Vierfach Werfer is going after the southern complex. That is a surprise. I guess that makes a lot more sense here under the circumstances. And indeed, we have a very quick P-Shrek moving on in to potentially slide up and get a sneaky shot in that MCHA.
Hopefully, but I think the MCHA is going to just get out of range, yeah. But potentially, if he does move up again, he will get Shrek'd on.
Yeah, I don't know that's going to be really the easiest time for him. But if you look at the circumstances right about now, Soviets to the north kind of doing an edge push. Soviets to the south, just throwing more Partisanis. I mean, a lot of this, I think, is with that red kind of crimson tide that kind of sweeps slowly up the map. But you know, maybe my read's incorrect here. So what else do you think might be happening?
Yeah, I feel like Znat is going to be pushing heavy down south. I mean, Partisani spam will be excellent if he can actually get close quarters with those Molotov cocktails and just even controlling that farm complex. I mean, he has a lovely 14-10 advantage over Graham here. But yeah, Graham needs to. He doesn't really have much momentum. It feels like he's just trying to counter a react to Znat's southern push with rocket artillery.
I think that's kind of reasonable. That as of right now, Nordland isn't trying to play for that A phase. If you look at the way that his deck is set up, there's a good chunk, yes, but since he's looking at that kind of flatland the entire way through, I'm expecting to see a bigger kind of stroke push over here and be maybe leavened with the occasional Panther, but this is not the Northern we're used to kind of seeing, which is so heavy with tanks. So like, it's way too expensive. I feel like Nordland gets very, very bogged down on the economy side.
Yeah, I mean, really having to focus on Panthers is very costly. And really, like, Stug 4s and all of that are a much better choice. And the Act Panthers too, but you don't get that with the Nordland. There's a decent amount of Pack 40s at least, which would definitely be useful on a map like this to slap them on the hills for good defensive fire. Oh,
well, yes, sir, please.
Never mind. I was just like, I killed the I thought it was rocket artillery for a second.
Oh yeah, please. A little rinky-dink 82 mil. That's not gonna do diddly squat.
Yeah, you'd have to shoot it down a hatch.
Exactly. So in the meantime, 88 are gonna try to engage that lag, and say what you want to. There's no frame drops for that man. He's getting out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite a lot of lag strikes very early on here.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I think they should take it up with their ISP. Yeah, because tech jokes are always funny.
He's not dropping packets, he's dropping bombs.
Exactly. He's trying to find a new port for his loads right there. Cobra getting taken up by an 88 though. I'm surprised that the 88 actually kills something. Just not what you tend to expect. This is not the Red Storm mod, so heaven forbid that can actually do anything.
Yeah, Graham going pretty heavy in anti-air early on, getting 2 flak 88s out on the field, which is a smart move considering all the lags. It is down to a Trove. Graham managing to even things out. And now I really hope he does try to make something happen in the center. I feel like that's not a push up north, he's just reinforcing it with the pioneers. The 2-3 runs in a good position.
Well, the 2-3-1 I think was the only thing that was going to keep that infantry push at bay. Superiors can't get close enough to do any kind of, TNT on him.
Yep.
And I think the Grens are going to be just enough to see the Superiors. The 231 is very much out of position for this support on the push, though.
Yeah. Now, southern side, I mean, Znat's still doing a pretty good job here. Valentine gonna have a rather nasty run-in with a Panzer Strength very shortly, most likely.
Oh, he won't. There we go. At long last.
Goes.
Up. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well done.
Easy peasy. Yeah, just the Partizani spam is working out rather well here for Znat early on. I mean, that Raider trait on them definitely makes them quite a bit more survivable.
It makes them more survivable, yes. And I realize the inherent kind of hypocrisy of noting the fact before that the Partizanis are decent troops, but they don't win numbers games. They have to be 2 or 3 to 1, I would argue, even against some of these P grounds. Especially the long distance. Yeah, get closer.
Oh, long distance, yeah.
Yes.
Long distance, crap. But in the forest fights, with Molotovs in their hands, they can actually do a pretty good job against the P-Grens. The nice thing about the P-Gren MG26 is they're also a very spammy unit, the exact same price as the Partizanis, and they come with a Panzerfaust. So they're really more... They're more kind of like... regular... Yeah, they're more like Russian infantry, where... You're not exactly doing a whole lot of firepower with them anti-infantry rise, but they're just here to hold the line.
Which is a weird kind of thing to say, because one thing that, as the range gets shorter, the advantages for the Soviet infantry pretty much universally gets, more and more noticeable. But the P-Grens they're not slouches. I always wish that there was some more kind of assault squaddy material from more kind of German divisions, other than just the MP-44s or Sturmgewehrs that we kind of see occasionally.
Yeah, you don't get as many, like, pure SMG squads from the Germans, and even then it's pretty rare of the, like, Sturm Pioneers or the few divisions which have STG troops, but when they have them, they're pretty deadly, of course.
So it does seem to be the case. Now, we are seeing the occasional surrender. We are seeing the M12 engage a Focke-Wulf. I mean, not a whole lot of fear just yet on that one. Actually, I'm trying to see. Yeah, Soviets have a couple of palms over here, the 37 mils. Nothing too surprising there. And we're having one pioneer who's retreating to the Eastern Front, which is kind of a weird thing.
He really wants to go to that gulag, I guess. Oh no, he
Yeah.
figured out the right way. He probably got the compass coordinates wrong.
He was going so close. He was like, ah, the North Pole. I'm always going north. Wait, and he just starts like rotating around it over here. I would be kind of surprised if he starts falling back under. Because right now, okay, all right. Anyway, so Partizani push, and this is what I'm talking about. 3 squads are going to engage these peak runs to the north. The peak runs to the south, which straight into technically now. With no more Molotovs, this could be far less positive against those peak runs. Oh wait, ooh wait, there's still a Molotov there. There's still 2 Molotovs there. Interesting.
This takes a long time to reload it. You know, you gotta open up the alcohol vodka bottle, cut up the rag, find a lighter. You know, it takes a while to make a Molotov.
Stop drinking the vodka. Throw
Yeah.
the vodka up back into the bottle. Yeah, it's rough stuff, man. I've had those nights.
Indeed.
Lag. Oh no, wait. Vielfach-Werfer is looking back to the south of the Partisanis. So it looks like the Partisanis are going to be celebrating the 1812s in a very, very unique fashion here.
They're rather clumped up, so it should be a pretty effective rocket strike. That should allow Graham to make a counter push back into the forest, but 15-9, it's really not looking all that good for him in his like overall B phase now, and it shouldn't be looking good for him income rise compared to Znat.
I guess here's the question. Why take flatline with Nordland? Wouldn't you want to go and really impose your will at a certain time? I mean, you know Graham best, having done casts with him.
I
So
think
what's the reasoning?
I think it's also just experimenting with flatline, because when we were casting, we were talking about incomes and why people don't really take flatline income, because it's such a rarity these days. So I think it's more of just experimentation, and it does kind of work. I mean, in A phase and C phase, he does have a point advantage, which is quite nice. Not a huge point advantage in comparison to other incomes, but still, you can make it work. And it doesn't really have that much of a like C-phase focused deck. It really only has that one Panzer Grenadier in C-phase as a C-phase card.
I'm wondering if it's him trying to go and bring in the Econ at the end of the game to bring more Panthers. By the way, massive push from Tango Descent Nikis. For sure, they're going to grab that town.
Oh my
Unless
god.
things go horribly, they're going to grab that town.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 Tango Descent Nikis. That is... I was trying to do 9 times 8 in terms of SMGs, but that's a lot. But hey, we got... Oh yeah, they have the jet bomber. And
Yes, they do, and I love that howl.
it's
Skadoosh.
so nice hearing something different rather than just the piston engines for a change. It reminds me of Wargame when everything was jet engines.
I thought it was going to remind you of Premium War Thunder, where you used to pay to win, so...
Goddamn Saber.
Yeah, exactly. One take that's on Niki going to the Flammenwerfer, not too surprising there, and it's worth mentioning that as good as these Peagrens are, they're not firing at all, which is quite confusing. First guy, probably going to go and get, yep, Roasty Toasty.
He was
T-Shrex coming as
reconnaissance.
well.
Second guy was reconnaissance too. The third guy is the one who shoots.
We built that castle fell down, burned into the swamp. Well, the fourth one.
I love his push. This is so stupid and ballsy, just rushing up a bunch of infantry with no support, just out through the open, but it's working. He really got Grain by surprise.
He's taken 50% casualties to do it. He's taken 60% casualties to do it, but congratulations, you grabbed one flag for an investment of what? 125, 130 points?
Yeah, he's gonna get 2 if he gets this one Flammenwerfer troop, so it wouldn't be too bad.
If it's good.
Yep. We've seen Graham already bringing the infantry reinforcements.
And Pioneers and Pete runs more than enough, I think, to kind of fight that back. Another push actually down to the south. Tanko Desant Niki being very, very optimistic about their chances getting into those trees, and I think the Pioneers lying in wait for them. It is going to be a tough sell because of that old Papa Shah. But it's an awful lot of Gebota Ledungs, so that should be not too shabby.
Indeed. Yeah, I think Znat's just really trying to take advantage of that B-phase income advantage that he does have, and is trying to make those aggressive plays, which you really need to be doing as Maverick, especially in the last half of B-phase. That's when you really start, building up the pushes, you have the income to, and just charging out and trying to make those good offensive plays.
It certainly seems to be the case. One thing that's been kind of surprising is I feel like there hasn't been that much in the way of fighting vehicles from the Soviets. Yes, the occasional MCHA has reared its head, and even seen a couple of Valentines, but for a deck that has the potentially to get 30 of them, we haven't seen all that many tanks.
Yeah, you're quite correct. It's really just been a lot of Partisanis and Tankers and ETs. Heck, it's not even a whole lot of anti-tank guns on the field. Well, yes, like the 2 anti-tank guns in the center, or even just S-35s. It's, yeah, very infantry heavy. He is starting to, I think he heard us, Khan, and is investing quite a bit in tanks right now.
True. Well, the Valentine to get there sometime by Valentine's Day next year. But we're starting to see those light vehicles assert themselves moderately. Puma, for example, the 234 in the center, no HE shells, the only AP. So at this point, he's just banging on as much as he can. Lag trying to engage the Focke-Wulf. The Focke-Wulf, I'm not sure I'd really want to fight, even over top of the 50 cals from the MCHAs. Yeah. Not the smartest of chaps. But, one more gun run may be enough to actually take out the lag.
Yep.
That's a lag spike. Yep.
Easy kill, yeah. But yeah, we're seeing this huge resurgence of armor here from Znat, and I think down south he might be able to make something happen. We've got that Pack 40 in the forest, which is getting slowly picked off by her Devka. But, I mean, okay, Znat has good map control so far. He's done a pretty good job in that. But it does feel like he's starting to run a little bit out of steam. I mean, he's got another big push gearing up for the northern side here. So hopefully this will kick him back into the saddle.
That might be the case, but he's lost the flag in the town. And I don't care how good that PTRS is, I don't think it's going to take out that Panther D anytime soon.
No, not at all. Now Panther D is going to be a raw force multiplier. The Valentines, of course, do actually have a decent chance of killing it, and even just getting some good critical hits, but if Green plays a little bit more in the center now, which he seems to be doing with his deployments, he should be able to grab quite a few flags.
That's true. Actually, I'm going to watch this hero stroke down to the south as he tries to, do his best Gandalf impression of, "You shall not pass this way." Not really sure what happened there at the end of that. AR-234 did some really nice damage to that bomb.
Yeah, a little bit of suppressive damage, but that one Stug is going to have to hold a bridge or the road. And, no, he just... I don't think he even attack moved it. Oh, he couldn't see it. He probably just couldn't see the tanks.
Well, kind of like Gandalf facing the Balrog, spoilers, as if we need spoilers for a book that is, 75 years old at this point. I could not have been more disappointed about that thing, about how that got, went out, but whatever.
Yeah, he could at least took 1 or 2 of those tanks out with him, but...
Exactly.
Apparently not. But it seems like Znat is going to be overextending a little bit of his tanks, actually keeping 2 Valentines back and the other 2 moving forward. He really needs to get some infantry up in here to cover, because, well, I mean, these Swedish recon troops could just get a sneaky anti-tank grenade.
And they're going to. Actually, this is Swedish drive-by. There's no skis involved. But there's potential there.
Oh.
What barrage? I was 152. That's going to be ugly. And that anti-tank grenade was... You missed your chance, dude.
Imtra is going to expose himself a bit more. And all that Stug on the hill was going to be in a lovely defensive position to pick these guys off. Maybe.
So that's Valentine. I always forget about this sight line.
Yeah, it's weird. We always forget that you can shoot each other from different hills. It's not like ST-44 where there's no hills.
There's Bocage country, but that's about it.
Like one map, there's like one map of like a slight hill, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the sightlines didn't read appropriately anyway, so.
Yep.
Now, meanwhile, there's a light vehicle push down here as well as a Pack 40. So we have two 250s, a Stug, and that Pack 40. All managed to kill a single Valentine. Well done, lads. Stug goes down, but there is very little in the way of armored fighting force anymore. Of course, there's very little in the way of a Nordland infantry push here as well.
Yeah, I mean, our off-map artillery down south stressed out everything, forcing them to fall back. And Znat is pushing through with his guard DP, gonna be getting a few surrenders. That Pioneer Fuhrer needs to stop trying to run away so he can give his non-surrender bonus up and running.
I think he's just exercising command prerogative, leading from the rear.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching to the northern side as well. We've been so focused on the south. The north has been equally desperate and ferocious. And you can see right now, there's really nothing left of that little kind of townish hillside there. Guard DPs, you can see there's been tons of death and destruction, as more than a couple vehicles have met their end there. And indeed, that Panther D, I think, is the only thing keeping the northern flank in one piece.
Yeah, it's gonna have to reposition up here to try and deal with the threats which are coming up. But it's gonna put him more at risk to getting shot at close range by a Valentine.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
He's going to be playing it defensively, which is smart. Keeping it behind the building, just in case anything happens. But yeah, it's a great push here from Znat. Actually redirecting Graham's focus up north and keeping that +2 point advantage. And with his +2 advantage, if he keeps it up, he's going to be victorious in 6 minutes.
Yes, he will be. The thing that kind of surprises me a little bit, though, is now the econ swings the other direction. And I'm not suggesting that it's going to somehow magical that he's going to be able to do so, but we also have a couple of cheeky positions too. We have an MG, a P-Gren MG26. Right around that kind of northern central position is another P-Gren towards northeast that technically could take out that Valentine. And at that point, there's nothing between him and two other flags. So, yes, there's some really, really strong positions, but there also could be some rather shockingly simple territory shifts. Like also there's another AR-234 strike on this Valentine. Boom. Is that enough for a flag though?
Maybe? I don't think so. The infantry is going to be enough. Yeah, Graham needs to get some more infantry down south here just to try and retake that little factory barracks. Yeah, oh, not factory, farm complex. I guess a farm is technically like an agricultural factory. That's outdoors.
just another collective.
Yeah. Grain, hand it over.
Exactly. I am your local Zemploid. Give me your grain. Duh.
Yeah.
More P-Grens actually in a battery Fuhrer are coming up to the north, so apparently some leadership is needed. Even though there has been some cheeky kind of, squads that are cut off doing rather well. MG42 in the central position has the potential to maybe take out this Ogden Cheeky at long last? No.
Yeah, if he can get that little central position there, the Ogden Cheeky, that'd be a nice flag. I mean, it's literally only two guys, yeah. But, I mean, the problem is they're in a very good ambush spot. Anything comes into the farm, they get burned.
True. Looking down south, another AR-234 run, and
Ooh. That's pretty clutch.
That hit so bad the MG34 guys got suppressed. Their mamas were hurting. That's how bad that bomber was.
But it got the suppression, and he's going to be able to get the surrenders here, so really not that bad of a bombing run, I have to say.
Well, I mean, so other than that, there's one off-map guy, and he's used all of his artillery barrages, I believe. This last artillery barrage, probably not going to hit anything.
Oh, that Sug is going to feel a slight breeze very shortly, but that's about it.
Unless he runs right into it, at which point he deserves everything he gets.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, Graham has managed to stabilize a little bit, but he still only has 8 minutes or so. I think just his central push has definitely secured him these rather vital flags. If he can actually try and retake his northern sector, he'd be in a good position, but in the artillery, he's proven to be a bit of a pain.
It doesn't even necessarily have to take the northern position. You could take the flanks, and that could be enough. There
Yeah,
is some very, very minimal infantry push happening over here. We have a carrier Dushka. So, that's a brand carrier with a Dushka mounted on it instead. A superior squad, and that's going to somehow be enough to push back these Pegrins? Maybe?
I think
It's
so.
unlikely.
They're almost out of like almost out of ammo. I see almost out of like rifle ammo before machine gun ammo. That's quite funny.
Yeah, yeah, well, I mean, that's been knife fighting right there. And you can see
Yep.
right now IL-4 is going to go after that position. But I'm getting the feeling, though, too, that, great, fine, you kill those guys. You still don't have really a whole lot of infantry to throw into the meat grinder currently.
Yeah, especially in this C phase now, that income disadvantage for Znat is going to be pretty brutal. And he really needs to just, well, it's not going to be too bad because he just needs to hold on to what he has, just hold until relieved type gameplay, which you can definitely do. But he just needs to hold for 7 minutes, and he really cannot afford to bring it to a trove for any period of time.
If you look up to the north, actually, much better artillery barrage happening here, as these peak rents, which had fallen back before, are going to get shellacked in a moment.
Oh yeah, all bunched up. They're not gonna have a very good time in that forest. Not one bit, Khan.
No,
Not one bit.
no. And therein will be a major issue is that those fleshy bags don't react very well when they get hit by high explosive rounds.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I don't have sources to back it up, but I'm gonna just go with that.
Well, I'm happy you can kind of buy in, and trust in my affection, unlike what you did before. But that's okay. We're here. We're working out our issues in front of the people, and I think this will be good for us.
Yeah, it's like reality TV. It's very
It
healthy.
is. it's reality digital TV on
Yeah.
YouTube. But not behind a paywall, which is wonderful. Looking down here to the south, we're seeing more resurgent material. We're seeing a little bit more in the way of kind of a cheeky light vehicle play. How the heck is this going to work out? Because, I mean, you and I talked a little bit here and there that there's potential for certain things to occur, but how likely are they? You said before, a couple minutes ago, Graham Slam's got to hold on for just like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Can that happen?
I feel like that is possible here for Znat if he can just hold on. I mean, he's doing pretty well. I mean, we've seen a pretty desperate push here from the southern town here from Graham, running into some of a nasty anti-tank rifle fire. But yeah, Znat just needs to keep Graham occupied, just up north and down south. Especially up north, that's a really good flag position which Znat has, and just that one entry on the hill is going to slow down any aggressive player. We're seeing more bombing runs from the AR, actually just going to nuke that town. Holy crap, that nuked it down.
I turned away for 1 second and I looked back down. You're absolutely right. Now, this is one thing I feel that has really been going poorly over here for the Graham Slam. And I know he technically has anti-air in his deck. But I feel like it hasn't really been utilized. Oh, you're absolutely right. Thank you. Yes, I mean, Graham Slam, of course, also has anti-air. He's been able to kill a couple of things with it. But hasn't seen the same kind of success over here for Znat. What the heck is going on, do you think?
Yeah.
Northern bombing run now in the meantime, too. Gonna pace that M-shot on that guard squad. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and the ball's dropped! Boom. Yep.
Yep. I feel like he's just trying to invest everything in ground type or ground units just so he can, grab that territory rather than trying to invest in like support aircraft and whatnot. He wants as many frontline units as he wants to keep up the pressure and be extremely mavericky. Up north we're seeing the Panzergrenadiers push, but not a single one of them not a single one decided to pack a Panzerfaust today, and they're gonna pay for it.
Well, you know what? When the Fuhrer sent them to the east, he was like, the war will be over by Christmas, so they didn't think they were going to have to pack that. Swim trunks? Yes. Panzerfaust? No. You got to think about the the tier lists here. So.
I think if his push in the town actually works, like in the center, also if the Okmachiki had to get pushed back a little bit, this could be the deciding factor here for Graham. The town is 2 flags, the Okmachiki complex is 1 flag. This could go really well for Graham very shortly.
And that's what this 12-12. I think, heck, even if that Emtra goes down to the north, that's a big, big position because you have to sneak more forces in there. And yes, Superiors being rushed on in. I don't know if I really relish their chances.
Yeah, yeah. That Panther gonna come over the hill, and I'm going to expect he kills the Sherman, but knowing the luck of Panthers, it will probably just die due to a transmission issue.
Yeah, yeah, we're like some rinky-dink Russian's gonna come up with a Molotov cocktail or something. Now, there is going to be an attempt on the life of that Pigren, and guys, let's keep in mind this is an IL-4. That is basically the Soviet version of, yep.
Yep. Yeah, so that managing to just keep up just enough pressure to try and get that flag advantage. But yeah, back to a Trove.
Because the southern side's falling apart.
Yeah, it really is. The Superiors are almost getting surrounded, but managing to stop their surrounders with a good old TNT charge. It's
But the thing is
dynamite.
and this is the funny thing. I mean, okay, the funny thing about this is that this is still a very knee-jerk kind of timed push over here from the Grand Slam. We're actually not seeing a coordinated push from all these infantry squads. We're seeing kind of like this squad moves in, this piecemeal attack, piecemeal attack, piecemeal attack. But he has the time to grind them down. The Stugs, the Panthers, heck, even the 250 Mark 9s, you're not going to sneak infantry in if these guys get any kind of line of sight on them.
Yeah, he really just needs to. I mean, I say bring CQC infantry, but doesn't have a whole heap of that. So really just bomb out forest with another Ardo strike and then go in and clear up their remains. But him managing to surround that southern flank, and as he make a good push here, and as he capping a few flags, is working really well here for Graham. Managing to get that 13-11. I'd really love him to see take out Southern Town. I feel like that would really secure him a pretty, potential victory.
Well, he's going to pinch the Superiors to the south, and the Combrati is going to go pretty quickly as well. Ooh, an Emcha. How delightful. And as well as a couple of Superiors. Emcha, I don't think... Oh, no, he's just going to move into the danger zone. I feel kind of bad for him already. And dear sweet day in the morning. Okay, so 88 is engaging Valentine, and I imagine he's going to send his love rather succinctly soon. And Central Position is about to get nuked one more time. Jeez. We said it once already. I'm going to say it again. I love seeing the jet engines. I love having these super heavy, bombers. It just they're devastating. They're terrifying, and it works.
Yeah, they're very, very powerful. Especially with no anti-air on the field. He's just having, a time of his life. He can easily line up the target and not really have to worry about being shot down. And really, with the jet engines, against Yardos at least, you do want to at least have some sort of heavy anti-air. Just it's gonna be very hard to shoot it down. You need to have a fast fighter already on standby to chase it down or intercept it before it drops its bombs. But even just some heavy 85 mils is enough to at least stress it out. But Znat doesn't have it in his deck. He really just has some 37 mils, and we haven't really seen any of those even being used.
Nope, we have not. Well, we are seeing. We're seeing Falcon Wolves being given ground targets, and that is not going to be pretty safe for the Superiors.
Not one bit. And we're all seeing that push into the southern town, slowly but surely, with just some Panzer Grenadiers here. And there's not a whole heap in that town. Some decent CQC troops, but I think the Panzer Grenadiers should be able to take our position.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be the case as well. It's one of those things that... a lot of, I think, this push will give me maybe one more bombing run. Maybe that's going to be enough, and we'll see some really, really hit hard. A push based on the back end of that.
Yeah. At least the one thing for Znat is that his deck is actually built pretty deep for C-Phase. He has a C-Phase card of Shermans and 2 C-Phase infantry cards, which is pretty uncommon for, Mavericks to take more than, 1 C-Phase card in general here, so at least he's not going to be running out of infantry, and we'll be able to compete somewhat well with Nordland. Actually, he has more infantry in the Nordland division, so take that for what you want.
Yeah, he's got more infantry, but there's still our Panther tanks.
Oh yeah.
And bring in your guards. I don't much care. You fire a PTRD at me. The only way you're killing me is if you take off one paint fleck at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Worth mentioning that technically that Vielfachwerfer has also survived the entire time. He hasn't gotten a ton of kills, sure, but still, there's still technically 3 more Opal Blitzes can bring in for some more delicious localized firepower too.
Yeah.
So.
And now, God, it's a 16-8 now here for the Graham Slam, I should say. He's got one of the flags in that southern town. He just needs to flip the other, and that'll be a 17-7. This is getting pretty nuts here, actually. He's managed to flip us over in a very short period of time.
It certainly is. I'm actually surprised that this Focke-Wulf is not being vectored after this IL-4. He's not going to get there in time. Ew, this is going to be bad.
Oh, at least the anti-air's here to do a bit of damage. Actually, forcing it to not drop its bombs by shooting it with large flat guns, which is a pretty, good and convincing way to tell someone to leave your airspace.
Yeah, but to me, like, even if it's not going to get to the pickle barrel, as long as I'm not over my guys' active front lines, I'd still drop my bombs before I bounce.
Well, the Hunter coming in for the southern town.
Yes,
I think
sir.
he's going to nuke and clear up the remains.
Yeah, well, the P-Grunt's going to be just in time, so I think... Yep, okay. So the PTRS going to get picked up here, nothing too shocking. Funny, kind of mildly amusing thing. It's a P-Grunt squad who's pinned down right now. But look what the Soviet infantry is forced to get out.
Yeah, slowed them down for a bit at least.
Which is perversely enough a success. It's exactly what you want to be seeing at this point. 17-7. Maybe even another piece or two is going to get picked up. P-Grunt squad will go down, but I think there's going to be just enough kind of northerly material to continue to put pressure on those Soviets.
Yeah. It just seems like Znat is, of course, running out of steam because of that Lanko C phase income. And Graham's just been playing slow and steady with that flat line, and just having all the armor out on the field. The Panther's actually proven to be a rather nasty threat, especially on a map like Warsaw North. I mean, we always usually see heavy tanks never be all that great, especially on a map like this, but with not a whole lot of heavy anti-tank on Znat's side, I mean, even the Shermans can have a hard time penetrating Panthers at close range. It's a pretty safe bet to bring that thing out.
That's true. That's true, but I feel like the unsung heroes here are the AR-234s.
Yeah.
The 2B2s,
yeah.
I mean, like, come on. They've had how many gun runs? I mean, bombing runs, they've been almost used on cooldown, and I applaud that usage of them.
Yeah, it's an uncontested airspace for them, that's for damn sure.
And when you get uncontested airspace as such a heavy bomber, this is what happens.
Everything just gets bombed, who would have thought?
Well, and conversely, if you look at the Soviet side of things, you look at, 18-6, you look at the Soviet side of things, you're noticing that the 88 mils, not the most effective killers, but they've been effective enough that, Soviets can't get their heaviest bombers in, and that's caused quite a bit of a hassle in terms of the logistic support that the Soviets need and the Germans can get.
Yeah.
So.
And we're just seeing up north, the Soviet infantry is slowly getting routed out just due to the horde of Panzer Grenadiers. And Nordland is like pretty good in terms of infantry spam, because you got the cheap Panzer Grenadiers and then the regular runs, and you can actually compete pretty well against the Soviets.
Especially when you have troops out in the open, that's going to be a really, really tough sell.
Yeah.
Panther D over here in the meantime is going to engage an Emtra and then a Valentine right behind him, and Chad Panther, love it. Oh man. That's one.
Yeah.
And I imagine this Valentine, he's going to try to send his love. But I don't know. Oh yeah, geez, the peak run's going to come in and get a Faust. This is bad.
Yeah. And the lovely thing is that you can really just run right up to Valentine's. They have a terrible high explosive cannon and no machine gun. So there's really no risk.
Well, I think they just want to be loved. I think I understand that. These guard squads, though, have taken the the brave step of saying, "Aha! We have not been attacked in the last 30 seconds. Quick, boys, charge!" Unfortunately for them, I don't think that's going to be really the best option in the long term.
No, they're gonna go into the other side of that forest and just get pinned down pretty quickly, I believe.
When I was watching these heavy tanks one by one, Panther to the north does go down,
Oh,
but at what cost, and at how freaking long is it taking for it to happen?
indeed. There's so much stuff here, up north here from Graham at, like, all of his positions, he's just thoroughly entrenched. Like, he's not gonna be losing at this point. I mean, Znat has to do a crazy counterattack, and, yeah, yeah, it was like 424 seconds, so, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Want to take us times two? I think it's a safe bet.
Sure. So 41, 28 then. Okay.
Hey.
And times 2. So, IL2, I mean, again, IL4 goes down. Does he blow up the entire thing? No, he don't. He almost hits some Americans, some Germans, but doesn't quite do the ghost of Lenin proud. And just constantly. Another bombing run. It's up. It's good. And it's going to go and plaster those guards. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, that has kept... Yes, it took back a couple of flags, whoop-de-doo. But that has kept the Grand Slam in this match the entire time. Literally.
Yes, especially considering how infantry-heavy Znat's been. Just being bombed by jet bombers is not exactly a pleasant experience. And the centre's now collapsing here as the Panzergrenadiers move up at Northern Hill. And, yeah, I mean, give it up to Znat. He's going to play it to the end. He's not going to leave till the fat lady sings. And he was very, very, very close to getting that victory.
Yeah, and you know what? Like you said, it was one of those things where it's like, can he hold on for seconds at a time? He can't. He can't. It was one of those things that I started to see those heavy tanks coming in. It wasn't going to work out.
Yep.
It wasn't going to work out. And you can see right now, Dozers and Su-85 being brought on in. Yes, we understand that the P-Grens don't have anything against him. But after a 44-minute match, your little side piece over here takes it with a rather hefty points KD. Like, that's well done.
That is, yeah, 2k KD. I'm guessing a lot of that is probably towards the end, just as he was mopping up the Soviet forces.
So there's a Puma did pretty well. I want to see the SPWs did pretty well. The Focke-Wulf, 1, 2, a bunch of ground kills actually. Panther D did really well. But look, AR-234, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 kills for him. Imagine the other AR-234. Oh, okay. Only 3. Only 3.
Only 3. More of the suppressive damage was pretty good out of him.
And yeah, and that's the thing here, is that there was a ton of suppressive damage. There was a ton of just consistent pressure just really overall being applied. And the Grand Slam, I mean, really, really well done in terms of holding it on out.
Yeah, and looking at just kills real fast. I mean, the Partizani did decent. Holy crap, yeah, apart from that, Znat didn't really have anything that really stood out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, great job, yeah, for Graham really pulling in towards the end, yeah.
Exactly. But any final thoughts there, sir?
No, just a great match. And I'll never leave you again, Khan.
Yeah. You're never gonna, give me up. Never gonna let me down. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna get rickrolled again. I'm gonna get rang rolled. That's how bad it's gonna be. But all right, folks. You know what to do. We will certainly see you guys all soon. Until next week, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.